So I only recently, just like looking you up and stuff, that you were charged as an adult. And I thought, wow, I thought that was like, different than what I'm used to. Then did you get sent to adult prison?
Yeah.
So my name is Danny, and I definitely did not have the easiest childhood. We didn't have much. We didn't have much money. And I started drinking and using pretty early on when I was about 14. I started drinking and using by the time I was 14 and a half. I was a full-blown meth addict. And I know I had positive people in my life who tried to show me something different, but because I didn't feel worthy of that, I chose to look at the people who basically spoke my belief systems about me, who let me know that I was not that good of a person. So by the time I was 15, I was no longer living at home. On the morning of September 23rd, 1995, I get a call from my boyfriend at the time saying he knew someone that we could rob, and I wanted money for drugs. And when we went to rob her, it turned out she was home. The truth is, I only remember so much of what happened that night. So I've just always assumed the worst. I've always assumed that I helped kill Miss Carol because she was murdered that night. I was, at that time, the kind of person who probably would have done that. At the time of her murder, I didn't see her as a person. Like, I saw her as a means to an end. I was tried as an adult, convicted of first-degree murder, and given a 25 to life sentence.
So I went through like the whole juvenile process, and then once I was fully convicted, I went to a CYA.
I actually been there. I used to be a gang counselor, a youth gang counselor. So I used to visit kids there, so I know exactly. To have somebody come to work for Villalobos with that crime hanging over their head is a first for us. It's not every day that you hire somebody who has been in prison for murder.
They had so many good programs and a lot of opportunities, so different from when I went to adult prison, and it was like, you're a lifer, you're gonna die here, there's no reason for you to even be in these programs. At first, that was kind of the mentality. Yeah, so it was very different.
I thought I was gonna die in prison. Like, there was no doubt in my mind when I got there that I was gonna die in prison. People told me that, like, settle in, get comfortable, you are gonna die here. What started to change that for me was thinking that if I give my life purpose, in any way help make the world a better place, then my life still has purpose.
Now, do you think it was attributed to like the programs you were doing? And I know that's probably where you probably fell into the prison dogs program, was probably in adult prison then, right?
They wouldn't even let me go to the prison where they had the dog program at first because they quit letting lifers go there. Mm-hmm. So like that was like my goal, like one day, someday.
They ended up closing down the max facility I was in, and I got to move to a lower level, and they had a dog training program there. The dog program gave me something different than what I was getting from every other like self-help group, seminar, workshop that I was doing. Like, the dog program was just, it was a different kind of healing that I hadn't had. That unspeakable relation between another living thing that's not judging me and is not wanting anything from me or doesn't have an agenda, isn't manipulating. And so getting to work with the animals, there was some like transformative work that happened. It definitely built me as a person and gave me hope that like no matter how hurt, no matter how afraid, like everything can heal. That was like where I found purpose, like actual heart and soul purpose.
Okay, so how long were you in the prison dog program then?
I started in February of 2013, and I paroled from that prison in May of 2017. Oh. So, yeah, for a while.
Okay, wow, okay. So aside from what she went to prison for, there is also what she does now, and that's trains dogs. Anybody can say that they're a dog trainer, but basically show me what you got. It has to be a case of Danny coming here to show me how she handles a dog, you know, that kind of a thing. One of my concerns is the transition coming from California to Louisiana. it can be shocking. This is probably the most complicated job interviews I've ever done because there's so many different things to think about. There's the nature of Danny's crime, her experience and her talents. Does she have what it takes? So when you get here, we'll be working with some dogs.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
We're excited to have you and crossing our fingers that you love this crazy place as much as we do.
Oh, where's she at?
Hey!
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. You?
Yeah, you look good. So yeah, Lizzie's my daughter-in-law.
I'm excited to meet
perfect
her.
timing that she got here because I wanted you to meet her. Wanted her to meet you. This is Danny.
Nice to meet you.
Hi.
So nice to meet you.
I think it's pretty cool that we have our first female parolee because we're actually a pretty big group of women who keep this rescue running.
When we made the decision to move into this building, I said, okay, this is going to be the healing center. That's our dream.
Yeah.
You know, back in California, when we didn't have hundreds of dogs, I was able to actually train dogs. I was actually able to, hold classes for the public and help them with their dogs. And since we got to Louisiana, I feel like we're just like a machine. We just gotta keep going, because the dogs come at us so fast. And I haven't been able to train a dog since. So to see Lizzie kind of pick up the torch and go, well, I wanna try this, just changed everything. I was just bragging about you. I said how you're learning so many cool things now.
Like learning how to not label them this or that, like
A bad dog.
bad, naughty. It's like,
Yeah.
no, fearful, anxious, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
right.
figuring out ways to deal with it.
And then how can I help that?
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's cool.
See? My hope is that if it works out with Danny, that she is going to be here to not only assist Lizzie, because Lizzie now is getting really into the training and the behavioral aspect and shelter management and environment for these dogs. So I want Danny to be her sidekick. Each building is 5 kennels only. They have a cabin attached to it. They're all air conditioned and heated. Okay?
That's cool.
All of our dogs are crate trained. Right now they're on nap time, downtime. That's why it's so quiet.
This is such
Yeah.
a cool system.
I mean, you know how it can be when you're working with a dog and there's so many distractions. So just
I
start them
do.
somewhere
Okay.
with less distraction, and then you can build up to bringing it outside, or you know what I mean. Need somewhere to start them inside, or especially
Yeah.
if they are an anxious dog, just an area away from everything.
That's when I first started learning. We
So-
learned about the 3Ds, the distance, distraction, and duration.
Duration,
Right? And then
There was a moment that they were talking about something and they both at the exact same time finished each other's sentence. It was like a match made in heaven.
I'm super excited.
What are you doing tomorrow? It's Friday.
Tomorrow, I have some adoption calls in the morning, and then I'm practicing training with Ambria, recall. You might be able to help me then with this, because I'm having a little bit of a hard time with her recall. She's super distracted by the smells on the ground.
Got it. Okay.
Danny's got the best personality. She's super bubbly. She's super positive. She's enjoyable to talk to, which if she portrays that, onto the dogs, it's gonna be a win-win, because that's what these dogs need. I don't wanna get my hopes up, but I'm hoping.